And there we go. We are live. So,
there we go.
No viewers yet. We'll pick those up here in a second. So, that's our camera. Everyone knows me. I'm John. And this, for anyone who doesn't know, everyone knows Tony. Tony Brooks. He's a city council member or councilman from Wilkes Barre. And we're going to do a live question and answer with him. And we're going to be talking about the Market Street Bridge. So we have 3 viewers now. By the way, I have no idea who you are until you say hi. So say hi and let Tony know where we're watching, or let Tony know that you are watching. Hey, what's up, Sean and Holly?
Hey, Holly. Hi, Sean.
All right.
So here we are. We're on the River Common on a beautiful, hopefully rainless evening. And I'm going to give a little overview about the Market Street Bridge, take any questions you have about the history of the bridge, and actually all bridges. So as a little bit of introduction to me, again, my name is Tony Brooks. I'm with the Wilkes Barre Preservation Society, also sit on City Council. And for the last 15 years, I have been promoting local history, historic preservation, the importance of preserving our history that gives us a local identity. I mean, when you look at this Market Street Bridge tonight, this is Wilkes Barre. There is not another bridge like this on the Susquehanna River. This is only in Wilkes Barre. Our unique eagles are, in my mind, the symbol of Wilkes Barre. We might have a beehive, but we also have these majestic 4 eagles that are perched on top of these 4 pylons. So I'm going to talk first about the history of bridges going over the over the Susquehanna River here at Market Street. So in 1806, the very first city council was formed for Wilkes Barre, and the president of the city council at that time was a guy named Lord Butler, my predecessor, and he went to Harrisburg and petitioned the legislature in Harrisburg to say, hey, give us the power to create a bridge company. And that happened in 1807. And then by 1811, they started to raise money. This is a private fundraising effort. You would have shares in a company, and it was called the Wilkes Barre Bridge Company. Matthias Hollenbach, just like in Hollenbach Cemetery, was the president of the bridge company. And by 1816, it took them 9 years to raise enough shares to finally incorporate the company and to then go in a contract with a bridge builder. And they contract to build a bridge starting in August of 1816. They were supposed to complete it in 1818, by December of 1818. And well, you know, as everything in government or anything else, it takes a lot longer. So the first Market Street Bridge opens in December of 1818. And it was a wooden covered bridge. And you might go out in farm country of Luzerne County, Sullivan County, you'll still see wooden covered bridges, but this was quite a large bridge at the time. If you were wondering how did people cross the river prior to having a bridge in 1818, you used to take a ferry. There would be a ferry boat. You would come down to the end of Northampton Street, and a guy named Abel Yarrington would, you'd pay him a toll, and he would ferry you across the river. And that was the only way to do it. But what was happening when Wilkes Barre was starting to grow out as a small little village, you know, the farmers on the west side of the river in Kingston, they had no way to get their wares over to Wilkes Barre because that was the only highway out of town if you wanted to sell your farming goods, your market in Easton. And so when the bridge happened, that was a boom for farmers on the west side. And notice I'm talking about farmers. This is all before the days of coal, when we were all just farmers. So that wooden bridge stayed around until 1824, when then there was a big windstorm and the wind just knocked it off of its pylons, and it fell into the river. So the poor town of Wilkes Barre had to do it all over again. And by 1826, they reopened another wooden bridge. And that bridge stayed in effect until 1892. The second bridge to cross the Susquehanna is, if you look up a little farther, we're live on TV right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you look up farther, you'll see the North Street Bridge. So that bridge came in 1888, and that was a newfangled bridge made of steel. So the guys who have the wooden bridge are kind of feeling outdated. And so by 1892, they decide to create a brand new steel bridge. And the steel bridge is around from 1892 until the present bridge you're looking at right now. The current Market Street Bridge was started in 1926, and it is completed in September of 1929, and it opens up. It cost $2.5 million to create this bridge. It has 12 spans. I believe it's 1,200 feet across the bridge. At one time, it had a trolley. At one time, you had to pay a toll to go across these bridges. The toll bridge became free in 1908 when the Wilkes Barre Bridge Company sold the bridge to Luzerne County. So if anyone has questions on there, I'll ask your questions about this bridge. If you notice, there are 4 pylons, and we're looking at 2 of them right now on the Wilkes Barre side of them. Each of these 4 pylons have sayings on them, and if we can come down a little closer, I might remember which one is which. But they all start with P's, and I like to joke that they might stand for pizza, pierogies, potholes, and Polacks, but that's certainly northeastern Pennsylvania. But they really stand for preservation, perseverance, patriotism, progress, and prosperity. And if you'll see right now, there's sayings right above it. And if I could, I don't have my glasses to see.
I don't. This is just about as close as I'm really comfortable getting.
Say perseverance.
Oh, it's so hard to tell with the live broadcast.
Anyway, so they all have meanings to different aspects of our culture. So perseverance stands for our ancestors who have persevered to find the Wyoming Valley. Patriotism is to the soldiers who have fought and died for us to have freedom. Prosperity is to the mineral rights underneath this great valley that helped build America and fuel the Industrial Revolution. And progress is dedicated to the teachers who teach our youth and how to be productive citizens going forward in life. And I dare say probably a lot of people don't really know that there are these 4 sayings underneath each of these 4 majestic eagles. But if you walk over the bridge, take time to look and see at them and write them down, take photos with them and share them with your kids, because there's nothing else like this bridge, and we're so lucky to have it. I have to give a shout out to one of the gentlemen who was really the mover and shaker behind this bridge, and it's a guy named F.M. Kirby. We all know his park. We know that his descendants gave us money to rehab the old theater on Public Square, now called the F.M. Kirby Center for the Performing Arts. But Mr. Kirby was a real visionary on how he wanted Wilkes-Barre to live, and he was on the Planning Commission. And when you're on the Planning Commission, you can say a lot of things on how you want the town to look. Mr. Kirby lived on South River Street, and his house, which is Kirby Hall today of Wilkes University, had grand views of the River Common. Well before the 1936 flood and when they started to build the dikes in 1940. And he gave the park to the city of Wilkes-Barre in the 1920s. And then he had this wonderful bridge commissioned so it could kind of seamlessly attach the River Common to the Olmsted-designed Kirby Park. So we owe a great debt of gratitude to Mr. Kirby. All those nickels and dimes he made, he was able to give it back to this city of Wilkes-Barre in so many different ways.
Somebody asked if when this bridge was built, did the dikes come before or after this particular version of the bridge?
Right. So the dikes came after this bridge. 1936 flood was the record high flood of that time period. And after that flood, they decided to start to build the levee system and the dikes. And they were completed by 1940 and expanded after World War II. We had a little break for World War II and then expanded after that. So yeah, this bridge was built before any of the dikes you see today, or any dike at all.
That's the question I had. I would have gone closer for you,
No
but I didn't really want to, and this is to everyone telling me to point across the bridge. I don't really want to fly over that traffic. So I will go ahead and aim this way. And by the way, we've had so far a max of, we've topped out at 36 people watching at the same time. We have 29 viewers.
Good.
30 now.
So there's one thing I want to say about the inspiration where this bridge came from. It was designed by a famous New York architecture firm named Carrere and Hastings. You might know their work on Fifth Avenue with the New York Public Library. If you go to Washington, D.C., and if you ever happen to lobby a senator or a congressman, there's these Senate and office buildings called the Russell and Cannon Senate and office buildings. Carrere and Hastings designed them as well. But that is the architecture firm that the committee in the city hired to do this bridge. But its inspiration actually comes from Paris. The firm had a young architect named Thomas Atherton work for them, and he did some drawings that model it after the Pont Alexandre Troisième bridge in Paris. And it's a bridge that's just up from the Eiffel Tower. Instead of eagles, it has golden horses. But if you look at this bridge and go Google search the Alexander III Bridge in English, you'll see the similarities of the bridge. And one of the goals that I want to do in coming up with the bicentennial celebration of this bridge next year, its 200th anniversary, is to have it glowing in lights. So folks, take a look at the bridge in Paris and see how that's all lit up, and that's my goal. Problem is I got to get PennDOT to pay for it. But I'm going to work on that, and we'll see if we can have the whole thing lit up. Just imagine every little span underneath the bridge all lit up, and these 4 eagles and the pylons just glow at night. So shoot me more questions.
Yeah, anybody got questions for Tony? Bridge related, history related, Wilkes Barre related. If you got a bone to pick with them, let us know right here.
I can't fix you a pothole yet. I'll try. There's Ayers. Cam Ayers, I know you. Nice to see you.
What kind of damage? He asked, what kind of damage? Oh, why eagles, and what kind of damage did this sustain in the floods?
Well, this bridge completely survived all its floods, so it hasn't sustained any damage that was extensive to it at all. Why eagles? Good question. If you notice, all over the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, in every single courthouse town and a county seat, there is a soldiers and sailor monument to the Civil War. Have you ever noticed Wilkes-Barre doesn't have one? Well, you're looking at it. You're looking at actually half of monument to the soldiers of the Civil War. So the eagles are there because of our veterans. The other half of our Civil War monument in Wilkes-Barre is the high school. The Grand Army of the Republic High School in the Heights was named after the GAR, the Northern Union Army, and that really is our monument to our soldiers and sailors. But if you go to Scranton to the courthouse, you'll see a monument there. But ours is partially the bridge and GAR High School. We were to build one on Public Square in the 20s. It just never happened.
41 viewers now, and I think
hi everyone.
I think we had more a couple minutes ago. Normally I address everyone by name, but we're getting a really good history lesson right now. So I forewent that we have people responding in the comment sections.
So some of the last work that actually has been done on the bridge back in 1986, if you notice, see the gray lights across the bridge. Well, when I grew up here in the 70s, they were awful 1970s angled lights, just hideous things. And they removed them and went back to the original lights that were there in 1929. So these got recreated in 1986. They're, in my opinion, not the correct color. They're like a battleship gray. I much rather them to be a shiny black. But they were done in 1986. I think now it's time to clean the bridge again. The back of the wings of the eagles are dirty. I have had some conversations with PennDOT, and we'll have to keep after them, particularly if I can use this 200th anniversary next year to have them clean it up and light it as well. There was one project I was involved with that you might have seen. It was for about 10 years. There were flowers on the Market Street Bridge. That was part of a project I was involved with my leadership Wilkes Barre class. They lasted for a little bit. Now, of course, we have them all down around Public Square. It's kind of hard to keep the weather and the traffic, the right kind of flowers, watered the right way, and to survive. But I thought they looked good for a while.
All right, everyone. We're not going to answer the jumping off the bridge question. But we have about 3 minutes left before I have to land this sucker. Last minute questions. Somebody did ask, by the way, do you know offhand how much concrete it took to build the bridge?
Geez, good question. I could probably go look up the research. I don't. I do know it cost $2.5 million to create this bridge.
You're officially, whoever asked the concrete question, you are officially the only person I've ever heard of to stump Tony.
How much concrete?
But you know he's going to research it tonight.
And I'll find the answer.
So, yeah, ask away. We have about 2.5 minutes left. Somebody says they want to put some new flags up on the poles.
Yes, you're right. We should put more flags. There are only a few flags on it, and I'll be after that. Hey, I could do that with the city. I'll be after them. I know we got flags around Public Square now, but there needs to be more. You're absolutely correct.
Bunch of people agree with the flags. A lot of people are saying you really know your stuff.
Thanks, Carol.
What other city history? We'll have to do more videos.
We actually going to plan to do videos. I do walking tours. My next walking tour of all the mansions and churches on Wednesday, July 11th. Leaves at 6 p.m. from the YMCA. It's part of the Y Walk Wednesday program. This evening, Richard Hughes, the judge from Luzerne County, just did the courthouse, and there will be 11 series of walks. Every Wednesday, 6 o'clock, you meet at the YMCA.
So, all right, I'm landing. You could hear the drone getting a little bit louder. You notice, I don't know if everybody heard my heavy breathing. I'm a fat dude, but we have been walking and talking at the same time. And right in time, we have a low battery warning, so about 5% left.
Well, I just want to say thanks, everyone. If you want to follow me on the Wilkes Barre Preservation page, I post history about all the mansions and churches downtown all the time. And you can come on my walking tours anytime. Hope to see you. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to link all of Tony's stuff to the Facebook groups. Again, thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. And my drone is yelling at me.
Bye.
So we're going to go ahead and end this. Bye, everyone. Say hi to Kevin Riley, by the way.